In the name of God, the all-beneficent, the all-merciful, and he will be an apostle to the children of Israel, and he will declare, I have certainly brought you a sign from your Lord. I will create for you the form of a bird out of clay. Then I will breathe into it, and it will become a bird by Allah's leave. I heal the blind and the leper, and I revive the dead by Allah's leave. I will tell you what you have eaten, and what you have stored in your houses. There is indeed a sign in that for you, should you be faithful. These verses continue the message of Jesus to the children of Israel story in Capture Al-Imran, verses 49. In the second verse, there is an indication of his many miracles. It then clarifies the purpose of all this, which is the guidance of the deviated children of Israel, and a messenger to the children of Israel. It is worth noting that the verse indicates that the mission of Jesus was directed specifically to the children of Israel. This does not contradict his being among the resolute prophets, because resolute prophets are the prophets who brought a new religion, even if their message was not universal. In the commentary Nur al-Thaqalain, a narration is mentioned stating that the mission of Jesus was limited to the children of Israel. However, some commentators hold the possibility that the message of Christ was universal and not confined only to the children of Israel, even though they were at the forefront of those to whom he was sent for guidance. The late Allama al-Majlisi, in Bihar al-Anwar, narrates reports about the Ulul Azm prophets, which support the idea that their missions were universal. The verse then adds, Indeed, I have come to you with a sign from your Lord. And this does not refer to a single sign, but to many signs. The indefiniteness here is to indicate the greatness of the sign, not its singularity. Since the call of the prophets is, in reality, a call to true life, this verse, while mentioning the miracles of Jesus, peace be upon him, begins with the revival of life by God's permission. It says on the tongue of Christ, peace be upon him. Indeed, I create for you from clay the form of a bird. Then I breathe into it, and it becomes a bird by the permission of God. The gradual revival of life by God's permission is not difficult, for we know that all living beings are created from earth and water. The miracle lies in the fact that this creation, which normally takes place over many years, is completed rapidly when God condenses the causes and factors, turning clay into a living being. The occurrence of such an event in that environment, and in any environment, is a living testimony and a clear proof of the connection of the one who performs the miracle with the unseen world, and of the infinite power of God. The verse then refers to the healing of difficult or incurable diseases, saying on his tongue, And I heal the blind and the leper, and I give life to the dead by the permission of God. There is no doubt that performing all these acts, especially in the presence of the physicians of that time, was an undeniable miracle. After that, it refers to informing people of their hidden secrets. Every person has secrets in life unknown to others. If someone informs them of what they eat or what they store in their homes, it means that his knowledge comes from a divine source. And I inform you of what you eat and what you store in your houses. Finally, it states that all these are true signs for those who believe among you. Indeed, in that is a sign for you, if you are believers. Research discussions. Were the miracles of Christ extraordinary? Some commentators, such as the author of Al-Manar, insisted on interpreting the miracles mentioned in the Quran in a figurative way. They claimed that Christ merely asserted that he could do such things by God's permission, without actually performing them. Even if this claim could be debated, there is no room for such interpretation regarding verse 110 of Capture al-Ma'idah. And when you create from clay the form of a bird, because the verse explicitly states that among God's blessings upon him was that he used to create a living bird from clay by God's permission. Insisting on such interpretations has no justification. If the goal is to deny extraordinary acts of the prophets, the Quran affirms them in many places. Even if one could hypothetically reinterpret some miracles, how could one reinterpret the many others that cannot be explained away? Moreover, if we believe that God governs the laws of nature and that they do not govern him, then nothing prevents these natural laws from changing by his command in exceptional circumstances, allowing events to occur in non-ordinary ways. If some imagine that this contradicts divine unity and God's sole creatorship, the Quran has already answered this. The occurrence of such events is always conditioned upon God's command. No one can perform such acts by personal power alone. They occur only by His will and with support from His infinite power. This is pure monotheism, not polytheism. Creative authority, wilaya takwiniya. This verse, along with others that will be discussed, indicates that God's messengers and chosen servants can, by His permission and command, when necessary, intervene in the realm of creation and bring about events that appear to break natural laws. The use of verbs such as I heal and I give life to the dead, expressed in the first person, indicates that these actions were performed by the prophets themselves. The claim that such events occurred only through supplication has no clear evidence. Rather, the apparent meaning of the verses shows that they acted within the realm of creation by God's permission. To prevent anyone from imagining that prophets or saints had independent creative power or a separate system of creation apart from God, and to eliminate any notion of polytheism, the phrase, by the permission of God, is repeatedly mentioned. It appears twice in this verse and 4 times in verse 110 of Capture al-Ma'idah. Creative authority means that prophets and imams can, when necessary, act within creation by God's permission. This rank is higher than legislative authority, which involves governing people, conveying divine law, and guiding them to the straight path. Thus, the claim of those who deny creative authority and consider it a form of polytheism is refuted. No one claims that the prophets or the 12 imams after the messenger of God, peace be upon them, possess an independent system of creation alongside God. Rather, they act only by His command and permission. Those who deny creative authority argue that the role of prophets is limited to conveying the message and laws, and that at most they supplicate to God in matters of creation. However, this verse and others clearly indicate otherwise. It is also understood from this verse that many of their miracles, at least, were performed by their own actions, though by God's permission and with divine support. In reality, a miracle can be attributed to the prophet who performs it, and also to God, since it occurs by His permission and power. It is also important to note that the repetition of the phrase, by the permission of God, and the emphasis on divine will in this verse is intended to leave no excuse for those who claim the divinity of Christ, and to prevent people from considering Him a Lord. The phrase is not repeated in matters of knowledge of the unseen, due to the clarity of that issue. And, in the verses above, these 2 essential qualities of Jesus, peace be upon Him, have been clearly highlighted. The next video will begin with Jesus and the Children of Israel, Sealed Hearts, the the message of Jesus to the children of Israel. The full, authentic story you've never heard before, exactly as it is in the Holy Quran, without any distortion. We will also draw from Tafsir al-Amthal by Ayatollah Makarim Shirazi, along with explanations from other respected scholars. I need your support to help this message reach more people. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and share these videos with your friends and family. Your support helps me continue spreading the light of the Quran and the truth of faith to hearts around the world.